So without further ado, I'd love to introduce Clark Moody.
As I lay awake in bed last night thinking about this talk, I heard a sound of a chain, clinking chain. It sounded digital almost. And then there appeared to me the ghost of Satoshi. And I looked and I saw this chain draping him, covered in blocks. And I said, "What is this?" And he said, "This is the chain I forged in life." "What chain are you forging?" He said, "Tonight you will be visited by 3 spirits, and they will show you your history, the history of Bitcoin past, the history of Bitcoin present, and the history of Bitcoin that is yet to be." And I said, "No, you must be a piece of indigested meat from the Satoshi Nakamoto Institute dinner." And I went back to sleep. But lo and behold, the ghost of Bitcoin past visited me and said, "This is what you have done in your chain. You created a company called RTBTC, which has the worst name of any company ever created." But this is where I started. 2011, Mt. Gox has real-time market data for free. So I built a website. The WebSocket protocol wasn't even fully developed. Built a website, built a user interface to trade on multiple different exchanges with the same interface, your same charts, all that stuff. That was acquired by Blockchain. I worked at Blockchain for a little while and continued to build that out until I left. I was still in grad school at the time, aerospace engineering, Texas A&M. So if you want to talk about rockets or anything like that too, let's chat. Then at this time, the altcoin craze first kicked off. I mean, we're going way back. We're talking Litecoin, we're talking Namecoin, we're talking Hobo Nickels. Anybody Hobo Nickels fans out there? There was some crazy stuff. And that goes up, it comes down. They're all going to replace Bitcoin. Faster block times, more throughput, more supply, less supply, whatever. Pre-mines, scams, it was all there. 2013, it was a time to be alive. Then I go to work at Bitcoin.com with my buddy Joey back here, old school. And this was pre-fork war Bitcoin.com. Worked with Roger, had Clark at Bitcoin.com email address, Clark at Blockchain.com email address. I mean, these are hard to come by. And, but then we have Fork War 1. And Fork War 1 was kicked off 2017 timeframe. Fees are high, block size is limited. We have these ways we can go. And I found myself visiting about half a dozen different websites and looking at one number on each of those sites, right? The UASF, user agent list. How many UASF nodes are out there? The hats are on, the UASF nodes are running. I'm just looking at one number. I'm going to another site looking at another number. The fork signaling from the miners. And so I thought this is an opportunity to put all those numbers that I'm looking at. I just want the number, bring it all to one page. This is the origin of the dashboard. I think it launched maybe in 18 or 19, somewhere around there, version 1. But that was birthed out of Fork War 1. So I built it for me because I wanted to look at these things, and it turns out some other people want to look at these things too. Fast forward, 2017, I built a company called Interchange, and we're building back office reconciliation tools for crypto trading. It was a lot of pain. We ran out of money. Landed at Kraken. You got to land the plane, right? The plane just can't hit the mountain. Who's ever had a land the plane acquisition from a startup? Yeah, that was fun. Landed at Kraken, worked at Kraken for 5 years, built more trading tools, Kraken desktop, CryptoWatch desktop, real-time, Rust, lots of cool stuff. And then that leads us to the ghost of Bitcoin Present. The ghost of Bitcoin Present came to me and said, "This is what you're doing, and this is what's happening right now. Dashboard V2, rewrote it in Rust because of the first fork, or the first, the halving, when the dashboard was running, it started crashing because so many people were looking at it, and it was not very scalable. So I was like, I got to rewrite this in Rust. That took 4 years, but I did it. And Dashboard V2 launches in time for the next halving. So there you go. I'm also working at EPOCH with Eric Yakes. I'm technical partner at EPOCH. We invest in seed stage startups now. I talked a little bit on the panel yesterday about that. And we are probably launching Fund 2 this year. This is not a specific inducement to biosecurity. But if you're interested in some venture capital, come talk to me. And this gives me a glimpse on that side, and see lots of cool builders, lots of cool founders, lots of cool stuff happening, but it's hard to launch a Bitcoin business. You see the weekly crypto raises happening, $100 million for an NFT gaming startup that like, they just lit that money on fire, right? All this sort of stuff. Stablecoin payment processing, $50 million raise. And Bitcoin companies are like struggling to put together a $2-3 million round. So there's just a big asymmetry in funding. But we're out there trying to make a difference with EPOCH. Well, what else is going on? Fork War 2. It's happening. It's brewing. Have you felt it? Have you felt it in the water? Have you felt it in the air? Quantum FUD. Man, the quantum FUD is heavy though. It's like, yo, if you break elliptic curves, everything breaks. So it's serious, but how serious is it? Who knows? People are selling, imagine selling Bitcoin because of quantum computers. Like, what? Who does that? Okay. FATF. FATF's out there making rules. They're putting devs in jail, financial surveillance, financial privacy. Everybody knows this, right? The noose is tightening. They're squeezing. They want to tax you, and they want you to live in a pod and eat the bugs and own nothing and be happy. The suits are here too. Man, the suits, y'all. Catnip, the yield, strike, what is it, stretch, 11% yield. Have you seen 11% yield? Did you know about 11% yield? Oh my gosh, this is boomer catnip. The suits are here. They are scooping up all the BTC. 11% though. Parker, did you know about 11%? The yield is here, the suits are here. It's, we didn't even talk about blockchain, not Bitcoin, all these sorts of things, the narratives. Do you guys remember big data, the big data narrative? I mean, the internet, get on the web, and all your problems will be solved. Get your big data, all your problems will be solved. Get your blockchain, all your problems will be solved. Now, get your cloud, right? It's like cloud, AI, blockchain. It's not going to fix your toxic corporate culture, and it's not going to fix your train wreck of a balance sheet. So I'm just telling you that. So don't hire the consultants on that stuff. All right. The suits are here. Yield, exposure. How do I just need some exposure to Bitcoin. I need price exposure, right? You got your bit B, you got your IBIT, you got your element OP. Exposure, okay? I said too much, spirit. This is too much for me. But there was one more spirit. Lo and behold, a grim, cloaked figure pointed his finger silently. And there were good things and there were bad things. Covenants. Are covenants ever coming to Bitcoin? Do we need covenants? Has someone proven a use case? It sounds like it could be good. Maybe not. Maybe it destroys Bitcoin. The wealth taxes are here in some jurisdictions. Are the wealth taxes coming to me? Where do I leave? What other country can I go to where I can take all my guns? Nowhere. So Texas has to be it, right? But then there's the eCash, and like half the people have heard of eCash and are super bullish, and then half the people have heard of it and are like, that's dumb because it's custodial and I'm a purist, and then most of the people haven't. Okay, so is eCash is that gonna be the thing? What else? Nostr is the thing. We already know that. Nostr's already crushing it and providing some hope for us. But all of this is really liberty versus power, right? That's the eternal struggle of history. Centralization and central control versus decentralized people doing their own stuff, voluntarily interacting, and that's the course of history, right? Who's read Rothbard's Conceived in Liberty? Yeah, we got one over here. All right, yeah, two? Yes. Go read some Rothbard. It's good stuff. Also, his History of Money and Banking. Nothing's new under the sun. Like all this sort of like, oh, bank bailouts, blah, blah, blah. All that is deep within the history of America. Fork War 3. Fork War 3, we don't even know what it'll be fought about, but it will be fought at some point. Maybe it's the suits. Maybe it's privacy, right? So, oh, we can't do anything privacy on Bitcoin because the suits. I don't know. Fork War 3 is going to happen. I said, Spirit is too much for me. Let me be resolved. Let me be resolved in my heart to take the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of Bitcoin into my heart, and let us resolve what we will do about it. We will build privacy tools. We will make privacy the default. If you operate a business and run a wallet and you haven't implemented PayJoin yet, raise your hand. Sorry. If you haven't implemented PayJoin yet, raise your hand. Why don't we have PayJoin? Zaprite, what's going on? Where's PayJoin? Okay. Use your own products. If you're a product manager, have your engineers use their own product. If you as the product manager don't use your own product, you should fire yourself, okay? Use your own product. Claude can't use your product. Claude doesn't care, right? It passed the tests and it renders the UI properly. That's Claude using your product. Use your own product. Be better corporations. There's a lot of rotten corporations out there doing a lot of rotten things. We see it all right now with all the special interests, Clarity Act, all this sort of stuff, like all the special interests are just weaseling their way in. How can we make this good for us? If you have a corporation, be better. Be better to your people. Be better to your, let's lobby Congress for things that make everybody better instead of just us. I don't know. Don't have a toxic culture in your corporation. Fire the MBAs. Sorry, if you have an MBA, I'm sorry, but fire those guys and get some engineers in there. Use open protocols, and this is where the agents are coming in, right? The agents, they can't sign up for Twitter because it's all closed. They can't sign up for Signal even because they need a phone number, but they can use Nostr, right? They can use Bitcoin. Build on open protocols, build APIs for your businesses, have transparent pricing. No more call us for pricing. Got to get rid of that too. Okay, fork when necessary. We have to fork Bitcoin for something sometime. So say, yes, I think we do have consensus for that fork. Instead of just, no, that's for the future Bitcoin community to decide. Why don't you just decide for yourself? We got to change it somehow. Fund open source devs. That's self-explanatory. We've talked about it a whole bunch, right? You can't make money with a wallet, can you? Or if you do, you go to prison. So wallets have to be built by people that have free cash flows that need to build something for people to use. Fund wallets, build wallets. It's the weak link, right? It's the weak link in all of this. All this sort of stuff maybe boils down to tell better stories, right? Like the story about the Vine, the resurrection of Vine is what's the story? Vine is back. Great. That's the story. I get it. I don't need a Vine is on open protocols and we trawled through the archives, all this sort of stuff. Tell better stories and people want to hear stories, people respond to stories. So there you go. God bless us everyone.